Game bust. Have you ever wanted to call the cops on a Yu-Gi-Oh player? Have you ever not wanted to call the cops on a Yu-Gi-Oh player? Crime and Yu-Gi-Oh don't usually go together, but there are more than a few examples of some illegal stuff happening during a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not just talking about misplays. Usually if there's going to be any illegal stuff going on during a Yu-Gi-Oh game, it's physical assault. Players who get too upset and angry over a game of Yu-Gi-Oh when they end up doing something violent, like flipping a table or attacking another player. We're not talking about such pedestrian examples of breaking the law, though. This one time, Yu-Gi-Oh was involved in something much, much bigger. For this story, we're going to Australia, New South Wales in particular. On August 23rd, 2022, a major drug bust was done in Fairfield, which resulted in the seizure of over 4 pounds of cocaine, 2 pounds of ice, and the arrest of 5 people in connection with the drugs. This was a massive drug-dealing organization with ties all across Australia that had been pinned down to this very specific street in West Sydney. 5 buildings being raided by Australia's Raptor Squad. You have questions, I know you do, but Raptor Squad is just the name of Australia's specialized police unit dealing with organized crime. All the other divisions have to bum it with actual job titles. Meanwhile, Raptor Squad gets to be Raptor Squad. All in all, $2 million in cash was found at the scene, as well as $800,000 worth of drugs. But that wasn't all they found. Sticking out like a sore thumb in all of the photos released from the raid is stacks of boxes of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. There was nearly 300 boxes of cards found at the scene, the price of which hovers around $50,000. Why did the Australian drug trade seem to be so interested in New Utopia support? Well, the time this happened exactly is really important when considering what this was. 2022 was the tail end of the COVID lockdowns, and during that time, card games had boomed. During the lockdown, card games switched from being a hobby to a speculative market. Same way people sold old Disney tapes for hundreds, famous cards like first edition Charizard were selling for hundreds, thousands, heck millions of dollars. As a result, the speculator bubble on card games was bigger than it ever had been, and cannot pop soon enough. A lot of speculators, though, are dumb and don't know what they're doing. So they'll just buy products, hoping that whatever big flashy card is on the cover or has the most sparkles on it will be worth $1 pentillion in 50 years. The comics bubble of the 90s could teach us a lot. Could. This leads us nicely to the time frame again. 2021 to 2022. And Yu-Gi-Oh was swinging at ghosts and missing every softball they could. The quality of packs wasn't low per se, there were good and bad ones, but the value of the boxes themselves was terrible. You could get a pack
What is this hand?
Vortex with all of its value tied up in a now $3 card, or Dawn of Majesty, that only held value thanks to Starlight Rare Stardust. There was little to no incentive to buying product when it would have just been easier to buy single copies of the cards you needed. And so people who did stockpile worthless sets were sitting on maybe a decent Starlight, but that's it. Yu-Gi-Oh's aggressive reprint policy and eternal format also made sure that chase cards like Pot of Prosperity didn't hold their value forever the way a card like Black Lotus or Charizard do. Prosby is always going to be playable, it's never going to get rotated out, and players at large don't care if their Prosby is secret, common, ghost, or platinum. They just need the card. It might be $100 at time of release, but now you can pick it up for $1. Cards have to be special to hold their value over time, like being a super rare rarity, or being a prize card from a tournament. All of this is to explain the circumstances of the boxes found at the drug bust, which were boxes of Lightning Overdrive. This was a set from the era of low value that had Starlight Black Rose, Definer of the Heralds, and Mu Beta Fafnir. These were the only chase cards in the set worth any amount of money. Trying to speculate or resell boxes of Lightning Overdrive was a bad investment. So why did they have the boxes in the first place? Simple. Money laundering. Money that you get from drugs is dirty money. If it's traced, then you're in big trouble. However, if you get money from selling cards as a part of this big speculator market, then you're all set. Basically, swap
Jack
the
in
drug
the
money
hand.
for card money.
There was a
and you're in the
level 1
clear.
effect Veiler.
This only works though if
Oh
you
my
actually
god, they're
swap the
playing
cards.
Drytrons?
Instead, all that happened was they bought the $50,000 in cards, and then couldn't get rid of them. Remember how I said the bust went down in 2022? Well, Leov was released in the previous year in 2021.
Let's fucking go.
June 3rd in
How the
Australia
fuck does this
specifically.
work?
The dealers had to have been sitting on worthless boxes of cards for a year at that point, and were probably...
I very much definitely lose here.
The situation drew instant jokes from the Yu-Gi-Oh fandom, with the #1 joke being that cops were tipped off because nobody would willingly buy that much Lightning Overdrive without being on drugs. Assassin cards. Okay. Well, I've worked really hard to try to make this iceberg as legit as possible. I've given up on
They had effect Veiler, that's 7 points.
Entries simply because I can't verify them. I'll give you an example. I got this one from a source, knows a source, who knows a source. But apparently, Balance and Scareclaws were meant to be the same archetype at one point. It makes some sense if you look at the design space of both archetypes, with them both caring about columns and zones and spaces, but I mean...
There's the
I could
Alpha
verify
Tuban.
something like that. I think the worst thing I could do is put all this effort in and then fuck up. I owe it to anybody who's put in the time to watch this whole endeavor.
Of course
to at least
they
try
are
to give
indeed
you
playing
real
the
facts.
Draconids. Yeah, it's fucking
But
Jover,
it's the
dude.
last part. Assassin cards aren't a broadly defined series of things in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, and more like minor mass psychosis. Assassin cards are a theory of the community that certain cards aren't made with the intent of being good,
What the fuck?
relevant, or competitive, but serve some sort
Life
of ulterior
granted.
motive.
I mean, back
You
row
might
removal's
immediately
nice, I
think of a
suppose.
card like Fluxocean,
But I'd rather main deck
a card that's
the
currently exclusive to
non-D-
TCG
the
that's
Draconids.
massively powering up
The
Magnet
not
Warrior
DA
decks.
not DA Draconids,
Meta,
just
whereas in
Draconids.
Japan, they aren't. No. Makes sense, and is a common thing that happens with TCG exclusive
That should be all of their
cards.
gas, yeah.
Decks that in the OCG didn't see the results they were supposed to. Well, then does it mean cards that are meant to kill certain formats? We already talked about how Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon killed the 2016 Worlds format by boxing out the best decks, so the cards like that? Tingirsu the Orcust of the Evening Star is clearly meant to be Orcust's answer to meta-constituent Thunder Dragon Colossus, or even something as simple as GB Hunter
like to
stopping
get rid of
Gladiator Beasts. No. And those
everything
are much
here.
limited, but still within the mechanics of the game. Entirely sensible. Assassin cards are when design goes a bit deeper and has a function outside of the game itself. One that I think started the idea that Konami would try to do something like this is the B-Trooper archetype. B-Troopers are a TCG-exclusive archetype who were made famous for f***ing up their second wave of support so
Wow.
badly that we flinch every time a TCG
We
exclusive
still die if they
archetype
have
gets a
one
second
hand
wave.
trap of any
It's an
kind.
insect deck with a sole purpose, putting out a lot of monsters in order to link summon. Insects have a fairly robust link lineup, including their in-archetype monsters, so it has plenty to do. Among the things it can do is use Insector Picofalena to equip itself with Retaliating Sea. That card is sent to the graveyard, and with Picofalena, the card you equip it to is used as link material, you can search an Earth Insect, which includes Max C. Max C is a card that's haunted Yu-Gi-Oh! For over a decade, and hearing a deck can now search it over the course of a normal combo is a terrible thing to hear. Max C is banned in America, though, so the territory B-Troopers would debut in would be safe. The OCG, though, Max C had been legal for as long as it had been in the game. It was semi-limited as, like, a joke once or twice, but only within a year, back in January, was it finally sunk down to
What do I
limited.
go
The card's
for? I've never
continued
played with
legality is
so few
despite
playable
how
cards
completely all-consuming
on my
it is
draw.
the game.
in
seems
Megalith,
legal,
so I'm
you have to
actually not
account
very
for it,
efficient when it comes
because
to
giving
combo
your opponent a
efficiency.
free draw on
I think I
special
can
summon
safely
is
just
so
go for
good,
Notre
your
Plura
turn
from
isn't
here,
worth giving them that much advantage.
because
What do you think is that
Nibiru would
V-Trooper
really
and Max
suck,
C
though I
share
doubt they
more than
have
just a
that.
combo line, as both were made in America as TCG exclusives. The theory goes that V-Troopers were intentionally designed the way they were to combo with the previously mentioned cards, to make a deck so optimized at getting Max C that the OCG would have no option but to ban it when the deck finally got to Japan, thus finally putting down the monster they made. The plan seemed flawless, except for when that second wave of support came around and crapped the bed. If you want to turn this from a theory into a conspiracy, you could say that it was purposefully done to punish the TCG for trying to get Max C banned. An even more obtuse example of an assassin card is with the equally underwhelming archetype of Argo Stars. Argo Stars are a series of trap monsters, with the main monster, Glorious Adra, letting you tag into the one you needed to underwhelm your opponent. On the surface,
To underwhelm your opponent.
on purpose, like V-Troopers.
Jesus Christ, man.
Alter Reality Games was a massive tournament organizer outside of Konami's authority that started running tournaments around 2013 that rivaled the size of actual YCSs. As far as non-Konami efforts go for putting together tournaments, Alter Reality Games was one of the biggest and earliest adopters who managed to outdo Konami at their own game. They seriously threatened Konami's bottom line by putting together tournaments in a way that Konami wouldn't, and offered up pricing that we know Konami can't. They made a few controversial decisions across their history, though, that led to them dropping out of favor, including making choices that dictated the format of the game itself. Alter Reality Games would occasionally put out custom ban lists that contradicted what Konami had put out, as well as contradict their status as a vendor. If they wanted to, they would be able to skew the format to unload valuable products at exorbitant prices before a normal Konami ban list would come in, and render their product worthless. Their website and social media have gone dead for half a decade at this point, but it does still show up. The theory goes that Argo Stars were printed just to push down ARG in search results, so when you looked up Yu-Gi-Oh! ARG, you would get Argo Stars instead of Alter Reality Games. That's why the deck is as underwhelming as it is, because it was more important to get the name out there than it was to make it any good. This is especially true of the Japanese name, which stylized the O in Argo with a star, which meant it was ARG all on its own. Well, this one I definitely put less stock into than the V-Trooper example, and given how ARG had been dead since 2019, it did also work. Now ARG comes after Argo Stars when searching for Yu-Gi-Oh! ARG. It also means that Argo Stars had more of an impact on Google search results than it ever did on the game itself.
I didn't know that was how that worked. I'm fine with this. This doesn't warrant a negate. If anything, just forces me
Mark
to
5
activate
Tag
this right
Force
away.
Special Fan Translation. Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan translations have existed
It
for a
is a
long time.
tribute
Not
gun.
every Yu-Gi-Oh! Game is as lucky as Melee Breakers to get officially translated into English. So to understand and appreciate the whole series, fans are often required to translate what Konami won't. Hopefully somebody will be able to translate Forbidden Memories into English from its native Martian. The largest group of games to get fan translations are the Tag Force games, with only the first two ever making
I
it to
should
America,
wait for
and
the
three
Xyz
being the
monsters
last
to show up
translated
since
into
that's like the
English.
choke
The
point.
games needed fan support to get over the finish line and translate the rest of the series. We talked about
And there is
before how these
always
games
good
would give
old just
characters who would never get exposure in any other
summoning what's its
mediums a
name.
story,
And
and to
yeah,
leave
they
those
decide to
untranslated
activate
would be a real shame,
Meteora.
especially since the games after 3 cover the super popular 5Ds. The community surrounding these translations would grow incredibly protective, and since they were Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans, naturally hated Konami to go along with it. Many were enraged they had to do these translations at all. that Konami was leaving the later Tag Force games in Japan without a proper translation, and that resentment built with every release. The final Tag Force game, Arc 5 Special, was released in 2015 for the PSP in Japan only, when Vita had been available for years to that point. 3 community members decided they were going to translate the game the hard way. Omario, Quantum XM, and ClickClack01 worked on a fan translation for Tag Force Special that would release soon after the game's actual release between 2015 and 2016. Fans were excited for the translation, since the 3 had worked on previous translations for the Tag Force games. They were trusted names. When it came time to play, though, there were a few odd things off the bat. The game started with a screen thanking the 3 and saying their translation was made for their love of Tag Force, in spite of their hatred of Konami. Getting into it, and the translations seemed pretty standard. There were a few dubisms worked
I'm
into
kind
the
of
text,
afraid
like
they
Yugi saying Yug instead
might
of
have
Yugi.
Zeus.
Pretty cute detail.
But like, Zeus is a
Then
lot of
Pegasus
points.
shows
There's
up.
no way they have
So
access
when
to
I say
Zeus.
spite, I mean spite. The Arc 5 Tag Force fan translation was made this way on purpose as an outlet for the people working on it to get out their frustrations and make jokes. Being an accurate translation was not the first thing on their minds. Raunchy jokes and mistranslations in fan translations are nothing new. Anybody who tried playing the old Final Fantasy games in the early days of the internet would know that throwing in a few random fucks was just kind of the way things were.
Holy
Arc
fuck.
5, though, has more than a few jokes in it. The translation
Kurikara.
is as offensive and edgy as it can get away with. In between properly translated texts are just some of the most out-of-pocket things you can think of. Starting from least to most egregious, the translation is loaded up with references to Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Jokes like Odeon saying gummy bears and calling Mako a freaky fish guy are all over the DM portion of the story. After that is the rampant cursing.
I just remembered they can...
had bad words in it, but it's used so much more liberally and tactlessly in this version. It's never...
I'm dumb.
It's always God
I probably should have been a bit more proactive, but...
It makes the translation feel like less of a labor of love and more just throwing in bad words for the sake of it. Worse yet,
I lose the
is that
negate
the
war.
translation intentionally included as much objectionable content as possible. Whether it was sexual, racial, or just flat-out bad taste. Lowlights include Pegasus being a pedophile, Bastion being a wannabe rapist, Callan using slurs like "f*** it," Bro being a homophobe. Sissy, don't watch this part. This is the translation's real legacy, as even among offensive fan translations, this is really bad. It'll just be trucking along like normal, and then one of your favorite characters will throw out some heinous bullshit, and you'll just have to sit there slack-jawed, like, no one don't talk like that. Not to mention, this game never got an English translation. If you wanted to play through Arc 5 Special, you're just gonna have to wade through all the gay jokes and slurs to try to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! We have options to do that already. If you did want to check out Tag Force Special now, you're not out of luck. People weren't happy with this translation. They thought it was a shame that the most available version of the game for Western fans was this abomination
I need
of
a name.
translation. And they didn't take it lying down. Efforts have been made to either modify or remake the translation to remove the offensive content. The most recent and complete translation coming by
Kinda
way
sucks.
of GL Lance 99. Cataloged his changes and further mods, adding voice lines to the game on his YouTube channel. Since then, the original 3 members of the team have left the community and the internet as a whole, with only ClickClaxer sticking around. If you want to try out the game and want to use the right fan translation, just pay attention to when they describe Pegasus before you get too invested. Why Barians don't have mouths. We're going to Tumblr. There's no bullets in it. It's the first thing we all try. I'm going to be direct with you on this one. This entry is referring to an obscure post by Daddy Zark to Tumblr called Hot Take. Variants are the only innocent creatures in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! That does sound like a hot take, given all the people they kill, but thinking about it, and it's not unreasonable. A strength of Zexal is the time it
I
dedicates to its
could
villains and showing their
get rid of the
thoughts,
Drytron
wants, and
Meteonis
the
because
reasons
he
they
doesn't
are
do
the way
anything,
they
but
are. Most stories frame chaos as evil and order as
and
good.
it would
While that's
avoid
how it ends
having
up
them
shaking out in Zexal,
have it in the
it's
graveyard,
not
but
cut
like,
dry. Are masquerading as Yuma's friends, but they form real bonds. Even Vector hesitates before twisting the knife one more time. Their backstories all go
the
into
question is if they have a second
delivered upon
Drytron,
them, and the fault lies not with them, but
as well as a way to just out
chaos
it
is
without
not a
battling.
one-for-one analog for evil.
But I
Yuma and
fucking
several
don't
other
have
big
anything.
guys utilize chaos to power up, and it's not treated as them falling
I
into
forgot you can do that.
but rather just using an energy source for good. The variants are never shown as beyond redemption, and when they work alongside the good guys, like with Bizarre and Nash, these aren't assholes, but rather elements of the story built up and paid off in a satisfying way. At the core of the conflict, the variants are simply on the other side, fighting to keep their world alive in a battle that requires one side to go. That's not what the post is about. The post instead focuses on how variants don't have mouths. Yeah, it's a part of their design, and what do you think that means? It means that variants are the only creatures in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series that cannot do Vor. The post details how, thanks to their lack of mouths, variants have no way to partake in Vor, and therefore are incapable of saying.
Oh, hilarious.
Then Zark compares them to the Ignis, another mouthless species, are capable of Vor thanks to I eating multiple people. This should be all you have to say before the cops come for their second Yu-Gi-Oh! Based arrest today, but instead it just keeps going. Somebody who will be beaten senseless later asked, what about anal Vor? Or cock Vor? Which is what it sounds like. Well, they decided to go into even more upsetting detail about the anatomy of the variants, and how they have no visible genitalia or anuses. But then also feel the need to explain how variants would display hierarchy without penis
What the fuck? What the fuck?
The formation of various ridges and protrusions on a variant to their dick size, with more elaborate and controlled designs meaning a bigger penis. That's why Nash is the top dog, and Dumont is on the bottom of the totem pole. Aren't you happy this is the final part? Bakura's eye color. I bet you've never even noticed the color of Bakura's eyes.
What the fuck?
Pussy, big whoop. The only climax I'm interested in is the G1, yeah! I could try some preamble here, but I think you just need the facts. Sorry, this is an old one.
So, fun fact, I can't fucking negate attacks.
Sorry, this is old. What you're looking at is the result of countless hours of work by Tumblr user Neversong, who has gone through and cataloged the most inconsistent detail in the entire series,
That's only during the main phase.
Bakura's eyes. It's a very small detail and can be explained away as stylistic choices, but Bakura's eye color shifts so frequently that there are categories upon categories to explain the differences. First is Bakura in the manga. Ryo, who's in the non-Yami version of Bakura, is usually shown with teal eyes. Though, even just here you can already see minor variations that lean closer to silver or even white. There are also more radical versions that give him red or purple eyes when he's next to his dark version. Speaking of which, this one usually goes for the paler blue shades for Dark Bakura, while often dipping into a more teal color, with some radical outliers going into brown or yellow. Finally, Thief King Bakura is your safest bet for consistency since they're almost always purple, though very often different shades. Got all that? Because that was just the manga! You know, the one in black and white! The anime makes its first big change and sticks baby Bakura with brown eyes, often ranging in saturation and getting lighter and darker as scenes go on. Dark Bakura usually sticks with brown as well, but a much duller brown. Depictions in Duel Links, Dark Side of Dimensions, and certain Takahashi arts, though, go for much deeper reds. The Season 0 anime wants to be special and gives Bakura green eyes, which he had never had before, while sticking Dark Bakura with purples, reds, and even a hot neon pink. The last major outlier is certain pieces of Bakura merch, which will saturate his brown eyes so bad they're a full-on orange. These are the major eye colors Bakura's used across the series, and make up the majority of these different swatches, with the main bulk of it being inconsistencies in shades. They can't decide what color Bakura's eyes actually are supposed to be, and that leads to dozens of different browns, reds, and blues used that might look the same in isolation, but next to each other are obviously different colors. Feel free to make your pride flag out of Bakura eye colors. Harasawa Takahiro. Time to get legal again! So to properly tell this story, we're gonna need to get a few things straight first. 2channel is a message board in Japan created by Hiroyuki Nishimura. As you can guess by the name, it's Japan's answer to 4chan. Not only predating it, but currently being owned by Nishimura. 4chan in English-speaking circles has the reputation of being where the internet's real work is done. If you want something done, better go ask 4chan. They really like it when you do that. While the reputation is both earned and overblown, 2channel actually does have a huge influence on Japan. It's one of the most frequently visited sites in the region with over 10 million users. At least back at the time relevant for this story. It starts in 2012 when a stir was kicked up by user Yagami Taichi. Infamous accounts exist on every social media site, but they rarely get the sort of attention and hate that Yagami got on 2channel. 2channel has a ranking of its most hated users, and Yagami was at the top of S tier. He's the Ned Flanders of Simpsons wrestling. Metaphor. Everybody hated this guy and wanted to get back at him for all the shit-stirring he had done over the years. Their chance came when he got baited into posting a college
I saw the
acceptance letter
10-minute
to win
testing for this.
Users of 2channel were able to use the template of the letter to narrow down which school it was, and from there it was as simple as telling them the type of guy Yagami was.
Well, let's hope this does
It
something.
got worse, as using this let them narrow down even more about him.
That is hilarious.
4 hours, they had his name, Twitter, and personal blog. Yagami's response to having years of racist posts exposed all at once to his friends, family, and university was to threaten legal action against the 2channel users doxing him. And up to bat to try to save Yagami, it's Karasawa Takahiro. Karasawa marketed himself as Japan's premier internet defense lawyer, which is why he had no idea how to make a thread on 2channel, fell for obvious bait posts, and got mocked for the fact that his law firm's Twitter account followed a large amount of idols. 2channel didn't give up on dogpiling Yagami. No, he was still in for loads of abuse, but Karasawa transcended 2channel and became a phenomenon across the Japanese internet. Karasawa was ripped apart for years by 2channel users. The most important piece of info they got being his face. No, they didn't actually have a picture of him, but his profile on the law firm website had a little cartoon rendering of him. This image became the de facto face of the anti-Karasawa movement, and was memed hundreds upon thousands of times with different renderings and uses over the years. This included being the face of a ransomware scam that claimed Karasawa was holding users' computers hostage, as well as the establishment of Koshinism, a religion structured around Karasawa to mock him in the style of the Om Shinrikyo cult. Things would escalate way more from there, from Karasawa receiving razor blades in the mail, being named as responsible for multiple bomb threats, getting his family grave defaced, even being framed for the assault of 2 idols, being great by attacking them with a handsaw. Karasawa's story is one of the most insane.
What is going on with her hair?
And the fact that I didn't even have a chance
Dude, I'd hate to see her bald.
is
She's
testament
got
to
the
the
biggest
fact that
forehead out of
is
everyone.
way bigger than any one thing. Yu-Gi-Oh! Plays a small part in it, but it's still worth noting as one of the major events of the early anti-Kanazawa movement. During the early days of Kanazawa hate, a popular way to spread his image around was by using Yu-Gi-Oh! Card Generator, a website created by Japanese website creator Jex. People would use their edited images of Kanazawa's profile picture to make cards out of, sharing them around and collecting all the variants they could. This was one of the early things that actively pissed off Kanazawa and resulted in him contacting Jex to remove the affecting cards. Important to note, they were also making cards of Yagami, and he didn't care at all. Jex complied, but that didn't stop people from posting. Not even close. Kanazawa asked him again, Jex took them down, new cards got uploaded, wash, rinse, repeat. Jex would comply with every message, but kept getting more and more frustrated with Kanazawa, to the point he would include messages with the deleted cards, blaming it on a certain lawyer. Included as well would be a set of instructions about how to use Google's search algorithm to hide the results from Kanazawa, teaching people how to operate under his nose. The likely explanation was that Kanazawa didn't know how to find the cards, short of just searching his own name and seeing what came up. So by trying to hide it, you could still post the cards and not alert Kanazawa. Want to do reading for yourself? You can always try searching on the Kanazawa wiki, which details every event that has happened in this entire sordid saga, including the page dedicated to Jex. Korean Missing Kids Cards. It's September 25th, 2009. You're in South Korea. You've just bought a brand new pack of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. Ancient Prophecy. You're looking for the rare cards, like an Ancient Fairy Dragon, i.e. the Emblem of Honor. You pull some decent commons, a Flamvel Fire Dog, and skills accessories for Super, Battle Brawl. You notice an extra card in the pack. Split open and see something you never thought you would. It's a card, child's face on it. Text below gives their details like height, age, and last known location. At the bottom of the card is the official Korean Missing Children's
Have I
Hotline
normaled yet? I haven't.
website. What you just pulled is part of a long-standing collaboration between the Korean National Center for Children's Rights Konami, working together to try to solve sometimes years-old cold cases of missing children. South Korea has a history of mass searches for missing children and coming up with nothing. Most famous being the 5 frog bowls. 5 young children who went missing. The remains weren't found for another 11 years. As such, it's pretty common to see mass rollouts of missing children material, like his tape on packaging. Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards are simply an extension
Oh, right, I
of that
can't
effort.
target them anymore.
These aren't official cards. They're not used for anything. They're purely part of the collaboration.
We don't have anything left
They'd be
from
included
board
in
wipe.
packs up through the Zexal era when the collaboration finally ended, and I don't doubt it's for a sad reason. See, people who didn't know about the collaboration, like tourists and foreigners, were really freaked out when they opened up packs and saw random missing kids inside. Fans, being as horrible as they are, started using the missing kids cards as tokens and field centers, or giving them out like they were regular cards to be collected, one even ending up in the collection of Little Karibo. This is the danger of giving the maladjusted malcontent who play Yu-Gi-Oh! Access to something serious. They'll ruin it. Errata Theory. November 25th, 2015.
Not really sure how
Post
useful
4chan's
this will be.
export details a
I don't know.
recounting of an
Yeah, sure.
encounter the poster had with a woman already fake. She was working at a factory going through a massive shutdown across the country, closing down factories and packing away supplies into boxes. tape gun the girl used, though, had a mysterious word written on the tape. Rata. Upon voicing her concern, the girl had her tape gun taken away, warned by an older worker that she should never, under any circumstances, post about this online. This ex-post probably got her f***ing head blown clean off. From there, more and more posts began openly talking about erratas. It was figured out that erratas referred to a program used by companies to allow them to bypass employee verification and access personal information without consent. This information was revealed in Jurassic Park 3 aliens. Any attempt to expose this information was found, flagged,
Motherfucker.
In the case of the Jurassic Park 3 account, not only had their mother recently passed away, their videos were flagged and removed for having hidden messages that related to errata. Errata, the program itself, is described with a degree of sentience.
What am I adding exactly?
Intentionally target and hunt users who have wronged
The answer's not
past,
much.
and work without the authorization of its creators. In its current state, there's ample evidence that errata is a globe-spanning neural network that controls the flow of information to the point that the mentions of it that exist are simply exceptions that it lets slip through in order to delegitimize those who have pierced through and learned the horrible truth. Anyway, this is all bullshit. Yu-Gi-Oh! Disproves the errata theory because erratas are
Oh right, I can't add shit.
I mentioned them on the iceberg
fuck.
previously, and you'll notice I'm bereft of bullet holes. Even the ARG itself can't help but address this one, since one of the routes leads you to a band called the KFC Murder Chicks, who are heavily involved in the Todd Ellsworth Jurassic Park stuff from earlier. They were asked about errata theory, and, well, they mentioned Yu-Gi-Oh! See, there's no global conspiracy about Yu-Gi-Oh! Zork's design happened because of a stomach ulcer. The Millennium World arc is one of the least talked about arcs of the entire series. Probably even less so than anime original content like Waking the Dragons or the Virtual World. Despite this being the natural follow-up to Battle City in the manga, it gets way less focus for a variety of reasons. Among them is the lack of dueling. Millennium World forgoes traditional dueling in favor of exploring a system called Ka and Ma, a reflection of the good and evil in a person's soul that allows them to manifest duel monsters in ancient Egypt. Ma is the fuel, while Ka is the result. Kura's Ka is Diabound. Thames was Dark Magician. This resulted in fights that were less Yu-Gi-Oh! Games and more traditional battles. The arc itself suffers from some aborted plot lines that make their absence felt, like the plotline about the priest Seto's betrayal of Atem in order to protect Kisara. That ended up not getting included due to discuss, and it leaves a tangible hole in the story. The most, I guess, divisive, memorable part of the arc is the final villain, and the final villain of the original run of Yu-Gi-Oh! As a whole, Zork Necrophase. Zork is a millenniums-old creature born from the darkness in men's hearts. Pure evil and bent on total destruction, using Thief King Bakura as a vehicle to enter the world of the living and wreak havoc. Fine, we'll talk about it. Now, Zork's design does hold some congruity with the previously mentioned Diabound, namely the top half man, bottom half snake. Zork, though, adds a pair of legs, which leaves his dragon dick. Zork has a massive dragon dick that has kept him from ever appearing uncensored without a big moo-moo on. It's a design that's always drawn criticism and barbs due to how weird it is, and there's no defending it. It's a really weird design. No, don't make the attacks white! What was the reason for these changes and oddities during the Millennium World arc? Well, Kazuki Takahashi was working at 2/3 his normal pace, because he was dying! In the Volume 20 afterward, Takahashi would shed light on what was going on with him personally during the Millennium World arc, and it sounds straight out of a horror movie. He'd become so unhealthy during the production of the Millennium World arc that he ended up vomiting blood and passing out in the middle of the night as he struggled to meet deadlines.
You're not
When
sure.
he next woke up, he was in
Just
a
in case.
hospital bed and told by a doctor he had lost a third
Although
of
they
his
can just
blood
get rid of
from
the draw.
vomiting and had gotten a stomach ulcer.
Or, no wait,
A
no,
condition
they're
that,
forced
to
to
have
either go
gotten
for
that
one or the
bad,
other.
would have been going on for weeks. He had lost the ability to stand and had to stay in the hospital for 3 days before being discharged. Fearing that he might die before the end of Yu-Gi-Oh!, he abbreviated the Millennium World arc to remove the Kusara and Seto subplot and rushed the ceremonial duel to make sure that, in case anything happened, the story would at least be finished. A complication of the ulcer and blood loss was that Takahashi admitted he felt like he had been working in a haze for most of the Millennium World arc, which led to the design of Zork being what it ended up being. He mentions it jokingly, but I mean, would you have been able to think about this with all your blood? I think it speaks to a wider problem with the manga industry that authors are encouraged, required, beaten into working past their natural limits and work themselves to death. We see so many older artists suffering through life with health conditions that could have been treated if they were allowed time off. Who have to take long breaks between new chapters because they can't keep up with the crushing schedules manga magazines keep them under. I'm glad that Yu-Gi-Oh! Was successful enough that Takahashi could escape a cycle like that, and I'm also happy we can all laugh at the Dragon Dick without a footnote being, this also killed the author. That's it. We're really at the finale. Last fact on the iceberg. To be honest, it's gonna be weird now that it's over.
Honestly, D-Shifters and all that useful here.
Whole trip around the sun.
Yeah, they have a lot of cards they want on Grave, but for the most part, they're set up. They can get away with just fine.
Together.
Let me draw Fairy. That'd be great.
Down in black coffee, which I never do, just
good enough.
Wait to get it finished. Fridays, turning into Saturdays. Still, things will be going wrong in my life. Doesn't scare me as much because, well, I gotta keep going. I gotta make it to the next part of the iceberg. Same guy now that I'm this project is lost. And while I'm happy to finally put a bow on it, I don't know, it just feels like I'm losing something else too. A sense of rhythm, passion, and hard work and routine. I'm sure I'll still have that like I do with everything else I make, but so, thank you for fighting for this long, because patience to see this through the end. Oh, not wasting any more time. Chill Beast. The only card in the game with Iceberg in its name.
Nice. And face? What? They never had anything to begin with? Cool. Last deck I wanted to play before moving on to other stuff. Want to play Killer Tune again. This is still the deck I've had the most success with so far. Holy shit, this is a hand. Out of all of the hands I've ever drawn. Fucker. Well, I'm fine giving them +1. Basically just an upstart goblin. Subterror. Fuck, I can read it. I'm gonna fucking pop it. They haven't read Cool Tune yet? Ah, nah. It's a mirror match. Wait, what the fuck? Dude, you know that's a hand trap. What are you doing? It's okay. Weren't they gonna do something with Fiendes? Alright. Apparently it can increase their attack and defense too. This isn't realistically going to do anything. I could try not activating the effect. Go straight into Cool Tune RS. So I might play into something I wouldn't want otherwise. Getting follow-up would be nice. I don't know, I feel like even RS might not be able to do much. Fuck it, I'll activate. Maybe they think I have evenly matched. So why else would I try to go for the battle phase? It's 2000 defense. Well, they can increase their attack. Uh. Guess we could call this the unluckening. That could do something. Never had it. Wait, am I dead? They don't have special summoned monsters. I really should have just set this down as well. Yeah, I am so fucking dead. I can try adding back mechs, I suppose. Damn. Ghost Bell doesn't seem particularly useful either. At least from what I saw.
Let's go. Dusty, driving, tumbleweeds on the road, sounding, searing, get the girl in my bones, take down, shake down, I'll be back on the show, pumping, rhythm, getting out of control. Good is what I've been seeking. Six shot, you're faster than lightning. Shot pen, it's time for a banger. And then bam, the world will be shaking. Back in the town, I gotta keep it right. I wanna kill this water with my bullets. Rock, I gotta hit and run 'cause I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna shoot at everybody, talking trash. Blood, blood, blood. I gotta kill this water with my bullets. Rock, I penetrate 5 times.
I really should have still gone for mix. I just remembered I'm only allowed to summon fiends. Off of Red Nova. So that was a little silly of me.
Dusty, driving, tumbleweeds on the road, sounding, searing, get it girl in my bones, take down, shake down, I'll be back on the show, pumping, rhythm, getting out of control. Record is what I've been seeking. Six shot, you're faster than lightning. Shot it's time for a banger. Bam bam, the ground will be shaking. Back in the town, I gotta keep it right. I wanna kill this water with my bullets. Rock, I gotta hit and run 'cause I don't give a fuck. I gotta shoot at everybody, talking like trash. Blood, blood, blood. I gotta kill this water with my bullets. Rock, I penetrate 5 times until the talking die. If I'm a super freaky badass, son of a gun. Shot, shot, shot.
I'll piss. Oh, I'm out of fiends on my fucking thing. I just remembered. Yikes.
You're up first. You got a ban list take for us?
Put Mallet, P Dormouse to 2.
Malice, Dormouse to 2. And why is that?
It's too strong a trait.
It's not at 3.
Yeah. It could be.
Bestial Magnum Band.
You want to ban Bestial Magnamut?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about what he's done to you over the years? Why Magnamut?
Well, I really like the car, and I really appreciate it because it is a car that I usually use in branded, but it really needs to go.
Okay. All right.
We can't afford this car in the near future. For we saw the potential with Tempai. We now see the potential with branded and Dragotail engine. But I really don't want to see the gimmick with Blue Eyes new full art car.
Okay. You're pre-hitting Magnamut basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
My suggestion is based on someone who hasn't played in 2 or 3 formats. Unban Maxi.
For TCG.
Yep, unban Maxi.
Okay. Where would you like to put it? 1, 2, 3.
Unlimited.
Okay. Could you give us some reasoning for this?
Yeah, see, some people want to fix the game. I want to make it worse.
Why do you want to make it worse? Are you a Pokemon player? Are you a Magic main?
No, I just hate the game and I want to make it worse.
I'm probably one of Circular's biggest defenders and lovers, as I love the Mathmech archetype. Chat, put L's in chat, please, for me. Just want to say, as someone who loves Circular, there's a lot of cards I can hit for Mathmech. maybe draw the 0 because it kills a deck. Fistules kind of kill Diameter in the graveyard. Instead,
Should
I'm gonna
probably
go
just
ahead
go
and
for
put
Rico
White
on
Mike for the 0.
directly.
I hate her because she got Slash Mage banned in TCG.
So we're not actually buffing any math mech cards. We're just... Also, White Bucket's already banned, by the way.
Oh, okay. Can you ban Red Red someone? I know that Math Mech is bad, however, I have a disdain for Malice just because I got my Slash Mage banned, and I really need that card.
Sometimes it's not enough to ban cards based off of their power. We need to ban cards off of revenge.
Yeah, basically that. That's how I felt. I mean, like, you were. I mean, how did you feel whenever Beansmith got Beatrice banned, right?
You're preaching to the choir, buddy. True.
Yeah. So anyway, I have terrible takes in this game, and that's my take. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I thought it was pretty good, actually. I've heard worse today. Only today as well.
Okay, then I guess I'm at the average level of a farm reviewer then.
I think we should put White Binder at 2.
In and out! Real quick, okay?
You know, I've been seeing debates on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Sphere about, you know, the Ash Blossom, the hand traps. And that's why I think we should have a Gamma to 3.
You want to put Gamma to 3, okay. And why is that? You just like using it as a hand trap, or...?
We going second brother. We need all the help we can get.
What deck do you play?
We don't have to worry about this.
No, I'm just curious. Science, tell us what deck do you play?
I'm trying to buy Magna Warrior cards, but I play Memento because I have nothing else.
Base. You know that went 9-1 at a regional this weekend?
I looked at the list. It's basically the same deck that's for like the past year.
Oh, okay. Whoa, sorry, it's not impressive enough for you.
We unhit Maxi, right?
Probably should have gone for the
Let's
lock
go Ash
in, but
Blossom.
Okay, so where do you want to put the Ash Blossom?
Put her at 0.
Do you want to ban Ash, but put Maxi to 3? You're on the same team as that guy?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's your reasoning for this? I want to hear your logic, quote unquote, that went into this change.
I always lose the die roll. I am unlucky, so you know what? Going second is best now.
Alright, fair enough. Sometimes you just have to play to your strengths.
The most important card to be banned is probably the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wormrings. It's like Deficient.
Oh, wait, there's one? Okay.
Yes, like Deficient fan.
Okay, yeah, no, we're banning Wormwoods. Appreciate it. Hello, DZ
Hi.
Flubber.
Let's put Red Ransom to 2.
I don't notice, it's the same guy who keeps coming back, slowly putting the Malice cards up higher and higher. Can I ask, your name is Pacifist and you have a revolver profile picture.
Yeah, that's right.
Have you watched Brains?
Yes, I have.
Interesting.
That's precisely why.
Okay, sure. Alright, well, as a pacifist, what would you say is a good ban list change?
Well, the number one pacifist wants to commit some war crimes, so let's put Savage to 1.
Savage Dragon? The Omni Negate Synchro?
Yes.
Okay. What's the logic here? Why do you think a generic level 8 Synchro Omni needs to come back to the game?
I think it can come back, but I think it should, like, get eroded. Like, just become, like, specifically a dragon card. Not like just a generic Omni Enforce.
Will like require a Dragon Tuner or something?
Dragon Tuner, Rocket Tuner, require that it equips like a Dragon Dark Link monster, or like you can even make it so like Savage becomes a
I like how
hard
Trackmaker
once.
doesn't fucking
So like
target.
you can only equip. But
It's
you can't use that same
it's
turn.
Dormouse
What
Ski
would
Malice.
be the point of that?
So you can still nip your opponent.
Oh no,
Oh,
I see
that's
what you're saying. So
hilarious.
like you can, so you equip on your turn and then on your opponent's turn, then that's when you get the negate.
Yeah.
That's shitty.
I mean, that's what I'm saying though. Like if we did that, it would be fine.
Okay, we're not doing erratas, we're not doing custom cards. God, I got gaslit into doing custom cards for a few minutes.
Heavy Storm should go to 3. It's ridiculous it's on a list in the first place.
You understand that, you know, in the realm of politics, you have to like be able to like get votes, right? So maybe sometimes it's like about baby steps. So I feel like you could get some people on 1. But in what world are you thinking that this is just a 3 of?
Well, I hate man, so.
And what is it about that deck that you don't enjoy?
Well, just floodgates in general. I don't know. Do you like man?
I can see what you're saying. What deck do you play?
As of right now, K9.
Yeah.
Well, you see, some men would say that you deserve your misfortune.
Only reason I lost the first game was because I
also
fucking
think,
bricked.
Azuna shouldn't be able to send something that can bring itself back, but that's a different card to ban.
Well, then what would be the point of Azuna sending?
Fun.
What? Alright, next up.
Hey, Splash Mage to 2!
Is anyone gonna do something about this guy?
Going first, it's just too weak.
Yeah?
Bring back duo.
Like the delinquent?
Yes.
You wanna bring back?
Traps in the game, man. I can't do my combo.
You think that delinquent duo should come out because you don't get to go first enough and do your combo?
Exactly. I
Okay.
can't do my combo.
Alright.
Traps.
We'll put that at 1, right?
Oh no, 3.
Oh, 3, okay. So what if you draw multiples?
It's not once per turn.
Yeah! Yeah!
Yeah.
So you're just ripping 4 cards?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Bring back.
Could you give me a good reason?
Yeah, I started playing the game after Mystic Mine was banned, and I was watching the horrors and the terrorism that was done. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have used that word. Sorry. That was done by people using Mystic Mine, and I kind of want to see it myself.
You just want to experience it firsthand.
Oh yeah, I will play it. I hate playing Floodgates, so I never play Floodgates. I play Branded, I never lock someone. So I just want to see it for myself and see how bad it is.
Ethical branded player.
Then you can ban it again, so yeah.
Limited, right?
Oh no, it's free.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just clarifying.
Yeah.
Very good, Supang. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem.
Alright, can we get one good take in here, please? Michael!
Link decoder to 2.
Okay, I'm not doing those on purpose because he keeps changing his name on Discord. And I click a random person and it just happens to be him. Like, what are the fucking chances?
Well, since I'm a bit biased, I think we should bring back Beatrice because I want my tier deck to be stronger.
You want your tier deck to be
It's just
stronger?
not hitting.
Okay, I mean, I don't think anything problematic can occur.
In-game
for Beatrice.
chat.
Is there any particular anecdotes that you would like to share as to why Beatrice should be back specifically for you?
I just want to do a couple more war crimes so my friends at locals, you know.
You're the life of the party. What you're saying?
Of course.
All right. Thank you, Blazu.
Thank you.
This wasn't a good take, guys. It wasn't a good take. Ray?
Why?
What are we doing? What are we doing here? Oh, I just joined Discord. I don't know what we're doing here. Yeah, Ray, you've done this for the last 15 viewer call-ins. Okay, get to your point. Tell me the card.
I actually don't know what's going on.
Well, then why are you in the queue? Why are you in?
Yeah, so please ban MST.
Huh? MST? What did the Radiant Typhoons do to you?
Oh, it wasn't Radiant Typhoon. I just hate losing to it in that sense.
Can we be reasonable and like limit it or something? Like, what do you mean?
No.
Okay, so
He's already banned if you think about
well, yeah, he quit. You shouldn't be legal in modern.
it.
Oh no, my microphone is dying. Unfortunately,
I want to
Anyways, we'll
see
talk
that.
about
I am
it too.
using Deadly Portal, right? Yeah, I'm using
Why
Deadly Portal
too?
again.
Oh, I know. He's a Crystron player. They actually want more than one copy. That's a good point.
Let's ban Medius the Pure.
I'm gonna ban Medius. Okay.
It's funny as fuck to just like kill 3 decks outright.
Is it something that
I-
Elfdogs did to you, or
No
is it
one's
just funny?
playing right now.
Nah, it's just a bit funny, innit?
How depressing.
A bit funny, innit? Alright, mate. Cheers.
Alright, mate. Okay.
Hi, John.
Hi, I don't know what to unban now. All the Malice cards
Are you fucking serious? No. Shut up. Go away. Shut up.
Where darkness
The card that I want to ban is Farfa. Strong card, you know.
Is it too broken this format?
Yes. Now maybe next year they're gonna get a good support, you know.
Yeah.
Copium.
Copium indeed. Kit Colossus player. Hello.
Yeah, gold Sarp to 2.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Are you guys proxy? Are you guys proxying each other's usernames or so? How is that possible?
Yes, hello. Red Reboot to 3.
Red Reboot to 3. Okay, does this make sense to you in a format with best of 3?
Yep, that's right. Fuck Dominus Impulse.
Unban Gumblar.
Ooh, okay. That's disgusting, but why?
Because I need it.
You need it. Okay, what deck do you think needs it?
Dark World.
Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you? Is Dark World good these days?
Nope.
So, I have a hot take.
Yeah?
Moki Moki should be put to 2.
Okay, why 2? The vanilla?
Okay, King. Fusion monster requires 3. So if it's 2, you can't summon it.
Damn, alright, you're gonna have to like build around it with like fusion sub and stuff, huh?
Probably, I don't know. I just lost to it in my locals last week, so I'm pretty upset about it.
You lost to Moki Moki at locals?
Yeah, I'm pretty bad, but yeah.
What deck were you playing?
It's definitely not Dragon Link. That's all I'm gonna say.
Tough matchup, honestly.
And we need to show Habibikiri and Mitsurugi, like
Habibi.
Mitsurugi, that it's a mid TCG exclusive archetype.
Mm-hmm.
Bring back Spiral Master Plan.
Oh!
And show that Spiral is the best TCG exclusive ever, and that we can now Goon in
I
Spiral.
mean,
is that the only
it
thing
doesn't
that's
have
missing?
Well, I would like a servant.
Oh, damn.
We can Goon in Spiral with the new Dark Magician.
That's,
We're going
yeah, that is
first.
possible.
Spellcaster.
Mm.
So our
Not wrong.
opponents,
Level 7 Dark
our
Spellcaster.
opponent's always gonna be behind
That
on
sounds
levels.
bricky as hell, though.
I mean, it's Spiral.
Yeah, fair enough.
You take Mirage of Nightmares.
Mirage of Nightmare, uh-huh.
Put it in semi-limited.
Gonna put Mirage of Nightmare in semi-limited, okay.
Yeah.
That's it?
So
Any reason
the
why?
reason being is that it's the worst card on the bad list.
I mean, maybe true, actually. Maybe true. You're not scared that Paleo's gonna be too good?
Cool.
Alright, last one. Hello?
I feel like I'm going to win here.
Worst video idea I've done in a while.
Just a
Actually, I did this
hunch.
like a year ago or something. But thanks for watching. Peace out. Subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.
We don't play any defenses. They don't pay me to think. How lovely. Oh, that was my servant. Hiss. Oh, right.
For Radiant Typhoon, Vanquish Soul, and stuff like that. And then because, I mean, if we're going Malice, we might as well play the really fun cards, 3 Mistaken Arrest and 3-Dimensional Fissure for going first, which, paired with the ability to draw some cards with Allure and Chessy Cat, I'm expecting to auto-win a bunch of games post-side going first, which, I mean, that's kind of what Malice is trying to do. So that is the deck list. I wanted to keep it simple here because it is ultimately just locals, and I'm not a Malice expert, so I'm not going to give you a super in-depth, long deck profile on this because I just like threw together a list that I thought made sense. I just wanted to showcase that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at some of the games I played at locals. If you want to see the full locals, I obviously went over all of the games on my stream. So there is going to be a VOD of it. If that would be in this video, though, it would kind of be way too long with every single game in there. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more footage of Josh playing Malice, then you can check out the links to the Plus and the VOD channel down below. I have other YouTube channels where you can watch the full stuff. And of course, I mean, you can just follow me on Twitch to catch this stuff live. Without further ado, let us jump into some locals Malice gameplay. I never thought I would say that. Now, before we hop into the games and you actually get to see me play some Malice, it is time to talk about the sponsor of today's video. After 15 years with the same office chair, it was finally time for a serious upgrade, so I was very happy that I was approached by FlexiSpot, and they sent me an Acrest, all the info, are opening a Fualos and 2 Bistials against Radiant Typhoon, which the Bistials are not great in this matchup. Of course, they're not going to be a disruption, at least I can still use them as extenders. But typically, Radiant Typhoon, not the weakest deck from Moltrami Fualos, so I don't have the greatest hopes here when they discard the Eldam for the Vision and then special another Eldam, but we'll see how it goes. They add Crocea to their hand. And then activate Chance. So they've got a lot of engine going on over there. And they search Megala. This is one of the reasons why I didn't shotgun the Fuba in response to the Vision. Of course, risking that they might draw an Ash Blossom, but I think Radiant Typhoon doesn't necessarily have to Ash Fuba anyways. But this way, they've committed a search for the Megala, which is now a significantly weaker card into the Moltrami. And it does resolve, which is nice. Of course, dropping the Moltrami on an open game state here is necessary, otherwise they get to make the Link 2 for free. And they special summon Swen to search for another Radiant Typhoon quickly. Descendants. And this is where I guess they're going to have to make the decision of how many draws they're going to give me for this Wallows. They special out Megala, and then they go for the Link 2, which is what I would assume that I would always get the 1 draw, and it is a second Moltrami, which is not phenomenal, but they do have the Megala, so maybe there's a chance that they activate the effect to summon, thinking it's not worth, or it's worth 1 draw to get to Varuroon or something. So they go Ascendance and then self-MST it. This is obviously going to trigger the Varuroon to place the trap card, add an MST to their hand. Varuroon is going to activate. Then they are thinking about their chainlings here, on whether they want to activate the Megala or not, and I'm really hoping they do, and they do activate it. And they also activate Ascendance and Varuroon. And I chain another Fualos, which is going to just be basically an upstart Goblin here, but it still is much better for me that they do this. So I'm getting 2 draws, 1 from each Fuwa here, which is going to put me up to 6 cards. And I'm going to find a Chessy Cat and a Chessy Cat. So my hand is now 3 Chessy Cat. Balatro I had. Alright, and they get the mandate. And I have, well, technically, my hand, if you think about it, my hand sounds really good because I have 3 extenders as well as a normal summon. Well, I have the same normal summon 3 times, but technically, my hand has a starter and 3 extenders, which sounds really good. But once you realize, hey, if this Chessy Cat leaves the field with, like, if the Phonics shuffles the Chessy Cat into the deck, then this is actually 0 extenders because the Bastials and the backup do not work if they remove the Chessy Cat off the board. So I'm basically expecting to scoop it up immediately as the Phonics shuffles the Chessy Cat into the deck. But they decide to not do it. Alright, so this is a quick moment where I want to say, be nice to my opponents. Whenever I do local speed locks, I don't want to see any insults to my opponents in the comments down below. Yes, not shuffling in the Chessy Cat here for the Phonics is a misplay, and I will explain in a second why that is. But still, keep it nice. Alright, we're at locals to have fun. I make mistakes, my opponent make mistakes. Feel free to discuss the games in the comments down below. Feel free to point out the mistakes, but please, no one insult any of my opponents. I will remove those comments if it happens, because please be nice to people, alright? The reason why I think it's good to remove the Chessy Cat in this instance as the Radiant Typhoon player is because they basically have answers for every possible extender I could have, even for multiple, right? They have Barurun to negate a March Air in hand, or a Bestial. They have Mystical Space Typhoons to negate cards like Allure of Darkness, Gold Sarcophagus, Terraforming, and even the Malice Field spell, and even multiple at that, right? So I do think at this point, they told me after the game that they were trying to get the value off of shuffling 2 with Phonics, but I think in this instance, realistically, just getting rid of the Chessy Cat on summon is the right place, because they cover all possible extenders, even multiple. And of course, shuffling the Chessy Cat into the deck actually makes it so that Bastials aren't extenders. So, like, March here is the one monster extender that they can't negate with MST, but they have Barroon for that, right? So I think using the Phonics here to shuffle the Chessy Cat was the correct play. The reason why I don't activate the Chessy Cat to draw here is I feel like that probably just gets negated by Barroon or MST, and at this point in time, I don't really have a great way to make the Chessy Cat resolve, and I just want to make sure that the Chessy Cat hits the graveyard as soon as possible. So as soon as they okay my normal summon, I'm like, okay, immediately link that off so that the Bestial and the March Air in hand are extended. And I do make Lingeribo. And they also, I mean, if you're not shuffling in the Chessy Cat, then you also shouldn't shuffle in the Lingeribo, so they okay that one. And then I activate Backup, which is the extender that requires me to have a monster on the board, so I want to use it first. And it also gets me to another extender if it resolves. They think about chaining Mandate here, they change their mind because they only have 3 spells in the grave, including MST, so if they use it here, the Barroon negate is offline. So they let me summon the backup, and they also let me search with the backup. And since I've already normal summoned, and I can't really rely on having a monster on the board for Wizard, I'm gonna go for a March Hare here. And I'm gonna discard another Chessy Cat, because I got 3 of those. And then also, they are deciding once again to not use the quick play and then the Phonics here, which allows me to go into SP Little Knight. And SP is really good here because it basically checks 2 interruptions from them no matter what happens here. I'm going to activate the SP, I'm going to target the Varroon, and even if the Varroon negates, I can still chain the SP to try and get the Phonics off the board, and if they don't negate, well, then the Varroon is gone forever, which is good for me. This is going to force 2 interactions, basically guaranteed, so SP is going to activate and target the Varroon. They're going to use the Varroon to negate it. I chain SP to get rid of the Phonics, because I really don't want them to have the removal. Which they chain drop it, sending the Varroon because it's already used, which is going to negate the SP, but it is going to let me keep the body for the SP. And I still got 5 cards in hand. I have the SP on the board, and I got 3 extenders to play with at this point, so I'm actually not feeling too bad here. And I think about, it's one thing, I think about using the March Hare as an extender here because it's the one that they know about. Like, using Magnamut here basically tells them I have another extender in hand. But I think it is important to keep the March Hare in hand here to threaten the Chessy Cat, right? To draw 2 and banish the Martyr. I could also Chessy Cat banish Chessy Cat, but I don't really want it. They set up the life points on the phone here. So yeah, the Magnamut and the Chessy are on the chain here. I know they have 2 MSTs face down. I don't know the last set card. Actually, no, I do know they have Ascendants. So they are now going to use the mandate to draw a card because they no longer need the MST in the graveyard for the Varu Rune to negate, since they've already done that. And I think about belling it, but I decide to hold the bell for the Ascendants because Ascendants 3-summoning Crocea is really threatening. A lot of follow-up here in case I can't go for game this turn. So Chessy Cat hits the board. And they draw a card. And this is where the dopamine hits because I activate Chessy Cat, I try to draw with it, and let's see if they allow it or not. They chain MST onto their own set card, and this is where the Bestials come in. Even against Radiant Typhoon, a matchup where the Bestials are usually not dead or not useful, they can actually be used to chain block MST so that they cannot chain Mandate. This is how the Bestials actually have a lot of value here. So I activate Druid Swarm onto the Chessy Cat, and I bell the Ascendants that they targeted with MST, which has a very unique ruling quirk. Because Bell negates the activation, the card is not treated as being on the field anymore, which is the same as Wanted. If you activate Hollowed as a Mina, you chain Wanted, and then the Wanted gets belled. You cannot send the Hollowed as a Mina you cannot send the Wanted with Hollowed as a Mina because it is not considered on the field if the activation was negated, which I believe, I'm like 99% sure that means they cannot reset Ascendance here because MST doesn't destroy it because the activation was negated. It's not considered to be on the field. Which I wasn't 100% sure in this game, but I do think that is how it works. It doesn't end up making a difference in this one, but I think that is how that works. So the Druid Swarm hits the board, the Chessy Cat draws me 2 cards. I think it was, what was it, Allure and Fuwa. And we just all of a sudden have 4 bodies on the board. We still have gas left in hand, and there's just 1 MST and a Phonics left that we have to play through. So I go into Red Ransom with SP and Chessy Cat to search for another card. And I feel like at this point, still one thing that holds up against Malice, if Malice is going second and ever gets to this many monsters on the board, it is a real threat. So I get the Malice in Underground. I have 5 cards left in hand. And now I think once this Heart Scripter is about to hit the board, I think the game is effectively just over if they don't have Sheena or Nibiru in hand, and I'll explain in a second why that is. So the Heart Scripter hits the board, Druid Swarm is going to send the Megala to the graveyard, and now it's basically checkmate. Because their interaction is MST, and then after the MST was successfully resolved, they have Phonics, right? So what I can do, the Cryptor just basically checks this, because if they activate MST, I can just chain Cryptor to it, banish the Phonics, which A, chain blocks the mandate, and B, the Phonics is gone, so it cannot trigger on a new chain. So I'm basically locking out both of their interactions here. They cannot MST and negate this alert because I have Cryptor to chain to it, which would also get rid of the Phonics, so they have no choice but to let the alert go through. And I draw Bell and Shifter. So we get rid of that Shifter, Lightning Speed, we don't need it anymore. The Bell is potentially okay for next turn, but we've used it this turn already, so it's not going to help here. I do have March here in hand that is still live, so I decide to activate the Heart Scripter on an open game state here, which forces them to chain MST, and then I just chain March here, so they can't mandate. Basically same thing as before. I'm just going to banish the Phonics, and then they are out of interruptions on the field that I can see. Maybe they have more in hand, but for now, that is all they got. And then we can push through. Of course, we still have the Malice and Underground in hand in case something goes incredibly wrong. Oh, MST on Mandate, March here, chain, so they cannot use the Mandate to negate. I'm going to banish the Red Ransom or the March here. Cryptor is going to resolve, shuffling the Chessy Cat, banishing the Phonics. On a new chain, I'm going to be activating the Red Ransom. And I still have not used, believe it or not, I have not used Dormouse or White Rabbit this game. So the possibilities I still have are pretty much endless. And I have 4 cards in hand. I have the field spell still in hand. Even if they have, at this point, a Sheena or a Nibiru, it probably is too late to save them. But at this point, we are just going through the motions. Go for White Rabbit. White Rabbit here is a little bit better into Nibiru, I think, because it gives me something on summon, whereas if I Dormouse, that doesn't give me anything. And I don't need the Dormouse in this game to go per game. They draw another card with the Mandate here, which if you didn't know, that card is not hard once per turn. If you reset it with the Link monster, you can draw again, which also pushes all their monsters now by 600, I believe, which is interesting. And I just clarified with my opponent in German, of course, that SP was negated, and that's why I still can attack directly. So, indeed, if they don't have anything left in their hand, the game is going to end this turn. And now that I've successfully set a trap with the White Rabbit, I'm also basically protected from Nibiru, because I can always, if they Nibiru, I can chain MTPO7, I can banish my Cryptor for cost, and then once the Nibiru has resolved, the Cryptor is going to return after, right? So I know basically as soon as this trap has hit the board, I'm safe from Nibiru or Sheena. I'm always going to have the Cryptor on the board still. I turned the March here into the Link Disciple because it is a light Link 1. So I can make an access code with 2 attributes in the graveyard to pop. So I gain 3,000 off of Red Ransom, and I just pop 2 of their monsters, and I go to the battle phase, and with the trap face down to reset the Heart Scriptor, that is going to be game. And I'm not gonna lie, this was a fun game. This was a fun game. I can't believe I'm saying it. But to be honest, I can't believe I'm saying it, because one of the issues I had with Malice was never that it wasn't fun to play. It was that it wasn't fun to play against. But in this game, genuinely, I think it was an interesting gameplay, especially because I was going second. I had a bunch of extenders. They didn't get rid of my normal summon. Of course, if they had interacted with my normal summon, they would have won the game much sooner. But it is what it is. That's how I won this game. It was a fun one to play. And I ended up winning this match 2-0, which I can't cover in this one because it's just going to be too much. Alright, the next game. I'm going first. This is round number 4. At this point, I am 3-0. And I'm going first with Allure of Darkness, Malice in Underground, Malice in the Mirror, Uwa, and Bell. So, very reliant on resolving Malice in Underground here to play with this hand. Luckily, for me, it does resolve. And so I'm going to banish Dormouse. And while I was doing this, my opponent was going through all the limitations on Malice because they wasn't sure what was on the ban list. Not enough, buddy, not enough. Alright, Dormouse gets summoned, activate Dormouse effect. I get hit with Imperm, which is not good. And then on res, I get hit with Uva, which puts me in a really awkward spot. And let me tell you, I'm slamming down this Allure. I don't care. I'm activating this Allure. For a moment, I'm thinking about setting Malice in the Mirror here, just in case I have to discard my hand. But then I'm like, nah, dude, I'm gambling already. If I hit a Chessy Cat or a March here, I need this Malice in the Mirror in my hand to be able to banish it for the Chessy Cat. So I'm just risking it all. I'm risking it all. All right, Allure of Darkness, first card is Allure. Second card hits March here. I'm the best.